My name is Dan Henson. I'm the president of the Henson Development Company, and we are very proud. and I brought my own cheering section. We're very proud to be involved in this project. We'll talk a little bit more about our involvement and how we got involved in this. But first of all, I'd like to say to you, I know that some of you were thinking that it was springtime. This is God's way of reminding us that He's in charge, He or she is in charge, and that and that we ought to pay attention to that. But I always start when I'm talking with reminding you of Psalm 118. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. So we find ourselves today in a great situation in Baltimore. I know that with the political campaign going on, you could be distracted and you could think that this was the worst place in the world. I got to tell you that I have spent the last 15 years or so developing in other cities, and I love working in Baltimore. I can't tell you how excited and how pleased we are about the opportunity to work in Baltimore. So again, a heartfelt welcome to all of you this morning. We'll talk a little bit more about how important it is in Baltimore. The sports fans, how about great finishes? I mean, you know, I'm still woozy from the Final Four and Villanova. I know there's one or two Catholics in here, Villanova fans. Chris Jenkins' shot at the last second last night just blew my mind. And then right after, Matt Wieters rocked all of our worlds and reminded us how great it is to have professional baseball back in Baltimore and working towards getting the Ravens back in the playoffs. So, 1405 point, an important development in the overall development of Harbor Point. I want to introduce, this project gives me an opportunity to work with some people that I have known for a long time and worked with in the past. Probably chief among them is the young lady that I'm about to introduce. We met each other working on, so some of you don't even remember when these buildings weren't there, but we met each other working on the Legal Aid building, which is right diagonal from City Hall. And then we later had the opportunity to work together in building the Columbus Center. And then the opportunity presented, Michael introduced Jody back into the development world in Baltimore, and we had an opportunity to work together. And I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to work with Jody Clark, the Chief Operating Officer of Beatty Development Group. Jody?
Thanks, Dan. Now I feel kind of even older after we just role-played my entire career there, back to the 80s. But thank you. I, too, want to welcome you to our groundbreaking. And if you look through that little glassy area over there, we are way ahead of schedule. We broke ground in January, and Al Hunt, our wonderful steward of this construction project, is way ahead of schedule. He's on it and rolling. We actually thought about, well, wait a minute, we don't really want to have a groundbreaking ceremony when it's really cold and freezing in January. We want to wait and back it up, and let's do it in April. We try. Michael Beatty, our founder and president and CEO, wanted to be here very much, but he sends his regards and is very excited about this day, and we look forward to kind of filling him in. First, I really wanted to update you on Harbor Point and some of the progress that we've been making. Harbor Point, just so that everybody has a context, is 27.5 acres, but over a third of that is open space, parks, recreational areas, waterfront areas that everybody in Baltimore can enjoy. And so we see this as an opportunity for everybody in Baltimore to come and play and have a wonderful area here. Thames Street Wharf was our first building that was built on Harbor Point, right over in this direction. It was opened in 2010. The Exelon building, back over in this direction, is the next in line. It will be fully occupied as a 440,000 square foot office building by Exelon in late fall. And it will also have 103 residential apartments that that wrap the entire facade, and a 750 space parking garage within the building, and a 250 space parking area underneath the central plaza. Sorry about that. And then 1405 Point will be our next building. 100% residential tower, 17 stories. And it will be, when it's completed, it'll be absolutely chock full of everything you could ever want in a home. It'll be perfectly located between Baltimore's oldest neighborhood, Fells Point, as well as its newest neighborhood in Harbor East. It has a wide range of unit types, from everything from studio apartments to 3 bedrooms. There will be 18,000 square feet of retail space that will also adjoin the Exelon building, which will have about a 38,000 square feet of retail space. There will be tons of amenities in this project, and that is really something that bodes well for millennials and boomers alike, and everybody in between. There will be on the 11th floor a pool and an I hope I'm not doing that. On the 11th floor, there will be a pool and a terrace on the outdoor deck that will look straight down over Fells Point all the way out to the Key Bridge. And in the lobby, there will be a concierge coupled with an amenity space with a pool table and lounge areas, media rooms, and everything else that everybody would want in a place to call home. Outside in the open space, there will be adjoining plazas, and there will be some covered parking. So, you know, we are so proud to be able to welcome you to Harbor Point, as well as introduce you to our newest and exciting project, 1405 Point. Thank you very much for being here. I would now like to introduce you to one of our partners on this project, Tony Nero, who is the President of Development for Armada Hoffler. Tony?
Thank you all. It's very my pleasure to be here today and to see what's going on. You know, this is a dynamic for the city of Baltimore. I can see the excitement and enthusiasm for what's happening here, but it's a conversion of what was once an 8-hour city into a 24-hour city. You need that living experience, and this is that additional experience which is going to help to revitalize and continue the momentum that Baltimore has had. You know, Armada Hoffler's had deep roots in Baltimore. Nearly 20 years ago, we partnered with H&S Properties and followed their design for Harbor East, which was considered revolutionary at the time based on what was here. We built most of the properties in Harbor East, including Legg Mason, Four Seasons, and the Marriott Hotel. So our pedigree is long, and our commitment to Baltimore is also long. One common factor over our 20-year history in Baltimore is a person by the name of, and our partner, Michael Beatty. We worked with him over that 20-year span on all of these projects, including this project, and we're very excited to be here today working with him again. You know, this is a relationship, and this is how relationships are, and it's built on mutual trust, his vision, respect for one another. And I think this is a testament to the depth and the strength of this relationship, which we hope to continue for another 20 years in Baltimore. We love this community here and what's happening and the dynamics related there too. You know, we're honored once again to partner with this innovative developer of the BD organization and what he's creating in this transformational community that's going to be here. You heard the comment about the open space. This is a dynamic in a lot of downtown. We're working in Durham and Charlotte that is now part of those communities where people are living, want to walk dogs, bike trails, and all the things that are going to occur in this community over time. You know, with the Harbor Point, I think the BD Development Group is reshaping the Harbor Point together with definition of what city living is going to be all about. Together as partners, I think we're creating a neighborhood that will add to the vibrancy of this city of Baltimore, and we're very pleased to do that. Additionally, Armada Hoffler is committed to increasing our inclusion of local minorities on all our projects and to create more value for the city, the state, and the region. We will continue to lead efforts that strengthen communities and reinforce Baltimore's position as what I believe is a dynamic and thriving city. It's my pleasure now to introduce Dana Henson, our partner on the project from the Henson Development Company.
Good morning. I just like to say good morning again to everyone. The cold, I wasn't ready. As everyone has mentioned, the truth of the matter is a project like this and the scope of it takes a great team with even better synergy. This team is it, and this team has all of that. As Dan mentioned, we are very excited to be back in Baltimore City, which is our hometown, doing development. We weren't here for quite some time. To be doing it in a city with a mayor and president of city council that have a vision for expansion in Baltimore, especially on the waterfront, is something that we're very proud of and honored to be a part of, especially with the team members that we have. It has been truly a blessing to be a part of it. As a minority-owned business, it is important for us to be a part of projects like this, to show a lot of the makeup of the city, a lot of the youth, that you can participate in projects of this size with other businesses that might be significantly larger than you, but on par as far as business and expertise. This building will be 289 units of luxury rentals on Baltimore's waterfront with an amenity package to match its brilliant design by BCT Architects. So we want to say thank you to everyone for coming to celebrate the groundbreaking of this project and welcome you to be one of the future residents of the project as well. And right now I'd like to bring up Meredith O'Connor, the International Director for Jones Lang LaSalle.
Thank you. JLL is extremely excited to be partners with BD Development on this amazing project. At 27 acres, Harbor Point is the largest development in downtown Baltimore, creating a new neighborhood that's already attracted Fortune 500 companies like Exelon's regional headquarters and Morgan Stanley. Harbor Point is the capstone to over 40 years of urban renewal that has revitalized Baltimore's inner harbor from an industrial waterfront into a vibrant business community. The level of amenities, green space, waterfront location, and the quality of life is unparalleled for a city, creating an opportunity for Baltimore to completely and competitively chase tenants on the national stage. Over the past several years, technology and the rise of millennials has shifted real estate in a major way, and the demand levels to dynamic and innovative urban hubs to certain places like the Seaport District in Boston, Hudson Yards in Manhattan, and Soma in San Francisco. And these places have benefited tremendously. This new office development will capitalize on Boston's growing educated workforce, which is transforming neighborhoods across this great city. Baltimore is not just a player, but a leader in high-growth areas such as healthcare and technology. This is backed up by the city being ranked one of the national leaders of job creation for stem cell jobs. Baltimore's city population holding base for a bachelor's degree or higher has increased 13% since 2010, and Harbor Point will house those jobs, residents, and supporting retail that will continue to grow this neighborhood. On behalf of the JLL team, I want to close by saying it's not just our job to lease this amazing development, but is to re-engage and tell the Baltimore and Harbor Point story on a national and global stage, and we couldn't be more proud to do so. Thank you.
Meredith, thank you very much. I hadn't met Meredith until this morning. I was amazed, however, and very pleased to see that, among other things, she's been working on the location for the Obama Library. She's out of Chicago, and you talk about a big role in something that's iconic and that we'll see down the road. We're also pleased to have her working on Wills Wharf, 220,000 square foot building that will follow this building out to the waterfront, and will create something, again, that will bring people down to this area and populate this area as we move forward. It is now, talk about old friends, it's now, and she's certainly not as old as I am, but if you didn't But if you didn't come downtown to Light City and have an opportunity to see what was going on and the organization and the way that things clicked and worked, thanks to Bill Gilmore's staff and thanks to Lori Swartz's staff, let's give a round of applause to Lori for putting Baltimore on the map.
That was very generous, Dan, but it was BOPA and Baltimore City, all the crew, the police, everybody who made it work. We're happy to be a part of it and support it. Thanks for having me here today. Welcome to Mayor Rawlings-Blake and City Council President Jack Young. Today's meaningful for many reasons. I just want to cite a few. One, it's unusual that an owner like BD Development would have control over a large parcel of property like 27 acres in Baltimore City. And the advantage to that is that it allows somebody to build a neighborhood. And that's what BD Development and Henson Development are doing here, is building a new neighborhood for Baltimore. Not just office buildings, which are very important, not just residential towers, which are important, but a whole neighborhood. And it also wouldn't have been possible with the strong role and support of the mayor, Mayor Rawlings-Blake, City Council, and Baltimore Development Corporation. Bill and Kim are here too. So let's thank the city first for making this possible. So we are fortunate, we've got leading corporations already here, Morgan Stanley, Johns Hopkins University, soon to be joined by Exelon. We'll shortly have a residential tower topping out one of the leading residential buildings in Baltimore, and also public space. To have a neighborhood, you've got to have open space, and Harbor Point will have over 9 acres, 9.5 acres of public open space that's terrific for residents and employees, but even more so for Baltimoreans to come and enjoy, have a picnic, have a family reunion, or walk on the promenade. So we're looking forward to next year, Light City, being able to walk along the promenade and see more lights along Harbor Point before they leave the harbor and get to Fells Point. So thank you very much.
Lori, thank you, and thank you for all that you do for the city and have done for the city in the past. Nobody knows how important minority business inclusion is on projects like this than I do. There are 1 or 2 people in the room who may recall that I started my government career actually as a director of the Minority Business Development Agency in the U.S. Department of Commerce. So I go way back with programs that support the inclusion of minority-owned businesses. I also understand that if you don't monitor these programs correctly, if you don't implement them correctly, that you can run into major problems on all sides of the issue. And so I'm very pleased today that we've got the city's Chief of Minority and Women's Business Opportunity with us today, Courtney Phillips.
Good morning. I'm Courtney Phillips, Chief of the Minority and Women's Business Opportunity Office for the City of Baltimore. My office is charged with the responsibility of overseeing compliance with the City of Baltimore's MBEWB ordinance. I want to first thank the Mayor, the City Council President for their unwavering support and commitment to the utilization and development of the minority and women-owned business community. The City of Baltimore has been a national leader for nearly 3 decades in programs and policies designed to remedy the effects of past discrimination and provide opportunities for small, local, minority, and women-owned businesses. As with all private development that receives financial assistance from the city, Harbor Point, 1405 Point are subject to the city's MBEWB requirements. Harbor Point and 1405 Point both provide tremendous opportunities for local, minority, and women-owned businesses to participate on projects that will ultimately be an enormous benefit to all the citizens of Baltimore in terms of contracting opportunities, training, and employment. These types of public-private partnerships are a model for what can be achieved through collaboration, but more importantly, commitment. I look forward to the continued work with our partners, as well as opportunities on future projects here at Harbor Point for minority and women-owned businesses. Our goals can only be achieved by working together, because at the end of the day, there is only one Baltimore. Thank you.
Mr. Billups, thank you very much. I will tell you that our goal, so I'm saying it today, our goal here is to break a record in terms of minority and women business inclusion in this project. So this is a major luxury apartment building. But minority and women-owned businesses will play a major role both in building the building as well as in operating the building as we move forward. So it's my pleasure today to talk about old friends. It's my pleasure today to introduce to you, or to bring to you, because I can't introduce him to you, the president of Baltimore City Council, a man who has fought for the right things for this city as we move forward. It's easy to say no to things. I used to say when I was in government that the easiest thing to do sometimes is to pick up the phone and call somebody and just say no, because then you have to do anything. Jack's office has always been open for discussion. He's always said no to the things that he doesn't agree with and yes to the things that he does. And once he says yes, then he helps you through the process. My pleasure to bring to you Jack Young.
Thank you, Danny. I don't know about all this old stuff. You know, I'm still young.
Yeah, that's true. Remember that.
Yeah, thank you, Danny. What exciting and cold day we have today in April. You look forward to be, you know, the 60s and 70s. People walking around with top coats, you know. I have this colder day. But my entire political career has been spent pushing for more job opportunities for our city residents. I've always believed that an employed Baltimore is a thriving Baltimore. It's a Baltimore that can provide for their families, participate in the local economy of our city, and grow our neighborhoods. I want to thank the BD Development Group, the Henson Development Company, Amanda Hartford Properties, Inc., Waterfront Partnership of Baltimore, JLL, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake and her Minority and Women Business Opportunity Office, BDC, and all of the other entities that I might not have acknowledged for working together to make this dream a reality. It is my hope that moving forward, we see more waterfront developers making the same effort to train and hire locals so that every neighborhood in the city can benefit from these projects that we push down here in the inner harbor. So again, I want to thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to the ribbon cutting in 2017. And let's not forget that as we do the ribbon cuttings, don't forget to invite Mayor Rawlings-Blake to be a part of that event, because she was here to help guide this project. And oftentimes after we're out of office, and don't forget to invite me in case I lose too. So, you know, because oftentimes when we're out of office, we move these projects along, and then when it comes ribbon time, y'all forget us. So don't forget us when it comes ribbon time, cutting time in 2017. Thank you.
President Young, you're absolutely right, and we will not forget. So the planning for this project started 30 years ago. I actually remember sitting in meetings in various previous positions. So it was in the 1980s when people began to look at what would happen to this piece of dirt that Jim Rouse at the time, the late Jim Rouse, called the best piece of dirt in Baltimore. And so it took a long time. There were a lot of things that had to be done in order to get the project ready for development. However, the implementation of that happened under our next speaker and under President Young. And it was them essentially who were being reminded of all of the planning that had gone into this, basically said, we agree and we're going to push it forward. So I got to tell you, I've known her for a long time. I'm not going to tell you why. I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm not going to tell you. Well, her father and I were good friends. So let's just leave it at that. Which means that I knew her when she was. Let me bring to you our mayor. And I got to tell you that you know, she may have said she's going to be leaving, but she's not leaving Baltimore. A lot of what's going to happen in the future in Baltimore. There's a lot of great things happening in Baltimore, a lot of great things on the drawing board. A lot of those things will continue, and she'll have an opportunity to see those things as she remains in Baltimore. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake.
I was very concerned there that you might call me an old friend, and I would have to remind you I'm a contemporary of your children. I'm just proud to be able to celebrate not just with Danny, but with Dana as well, and with all of you. And I'll keep it brief because I don't know about any of you, but I'm cold. And trying to figure out how in a fully tented press conference, it's still windy. But this is an exciting time in Baltimore. And Danny, I heard some of the comments that you were making moving in. And I think it's so unfortunate sometimes when people want to preach doom and gloom about a city and ignore what's positive about what we've done. Are we a city with challenges? Absolutely we are. Name me a city that doesn't have challenges. Well, we're also a resilient city and a city that has so much promise. Sometimes we're the last to see it, but ask the millennials that are moving here in record number. We're one of the top 10, isn't it? Fastest growing millennial populations in the country. Inc. and Fortune have acknowledged Baltimore as one of the best places, one of the top 5 or 10 places in the country to start a tech startup. It's not by accident. It's because we've decided to be bold and to grow. I made a decision that I was going to make a priority of growing our city by 10,000 families over the next 10 years. And when I said it, people thought I was crazy because we had been managing decline and I knew that we could do better. But I knew we would do better by being bold, by being principled, and by being inclusive. And that's what I think about when I think about this project, a project that had too many detractors who didn't have a vision of what this should be, didn't have a vision of what the city could be moving forward, but reveled in saying no and being obstacles to progress. And because of cooperation, because of leadership, like the leadership of City Council President Jack Young, who worked so closely in partnership, we are able to stand here today announcing hundreds of new jobs and thousands on the way, more opportunities for our residents, not just downtown, but throughout the city. And as I think about the time that I've spent in over 20 years in public service, this is one of the projects that I will be most proud of because it is creating a renaissance and a new day for our city. And I'm just grateful for all of you for coming together to make this possible. Thank you very much. And to everyone up here and those who aren't, that we wish who were, I want to say congratulations and thank you.
Mayor, thank you very much, and I very much appreciate the time that you've spent on this project. And trust me, you will spend on this project as we move forward because she's going to be with us for a while. I now would like to introduce a video of what you're going to see about 1405. for those of you who believe in making plans a year and a half out or so, and you're looking at downsizing or relocating or something like that, you know, in a couple of months we'll begin taking applications. This is the place you want to live. So my wife has already said that, you know, we're going to live here. I think it's a good idea, and I think what we've tried to do is design a building that we'll be happy in and proud to live in, and proud to invite our guests to come to. Thank you to M&T Bank providing us with a construction loan that allowed us to do what we do. Just one last thing. Just one last thing. So this building, so it's quiet right now because we asked Al Hunt and the guys to let it be quiet. Al's about to give the signal to start again. It won't be quiet because we're going to drive a total of 350 pilings for this building. We've already driven about 245 of the pilings. Many of you have come by and heard them. So this is a building basically built on pilings. So what you're seeing out there right now is the beginning of construction, and just following this, we'll start going up. So it won't be going up first. We'll be going up as we do. Again, thank you all for being here.